Welcome to another episode of the brand called You, a podcast and podcast show that brings you leadership lessons, knowledge, experience, and wisdom from thousands of successful individuals from around the world. I'm your host, Ashutosh Garg, and today I'm delighted to welcome an accomplished and respected entrepreneur or education entrepreneur from Pune, India, Mr. Luckee Surana. Luckee, welcome to the show.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for having me here.
Thank you. Luckee is the co-founder and chief executive officer of ENARK Education, which is building India's most exciting teacher training app, and which is also designed to create classroom-ready teachers. Given the amount of work Luckee has been doing, understandably, Luckee has been recognized, felicitated, and awarded several times. So, Luckee, my first question for you: can you
Yes.
share some key moments from your journey that led you to becoming an education entrepreneur?
Okay. So, thank you once again, sir, for having me here. It's a long story.
Mhm.
Uh, around 24 years back, when I was in my school and being not academically driven, it was always a kind of a thing that why, or rather, I would say everybody were only behind academics and academic driven skills. Now, I was never very keen in studies, or I was never very keen where academics was my priority. So, hence, I was always like a backbencher. In
Mhm. So was
uh,
I. Mhm.
so when I passed out my 10th standard,
Mhm.
honestly, my tuition teacher distributed sweets.
Mhm.
I passed out. I
Okay.
passed my 10th standard.
Okay.
But something very important happened after that. I
Mhm.
uh, couldn't get admission into any college
Mhm.
because of my scores. And I could not get into any college, and my 1 year was just, I was not there anywhere.
Mhm.
So I tried with various colleges, but because of the scores, I had to wait. And that 1 year possibly was, I would say it was an academically a backlog,
Mhm.
but life-changing year, life-changing moments, life-changing experiences happened during that time.
Amazing.
And I was then, been told that why don't you learn computers? Why don't you get attached to something like this, where at least some knowledge will be gaining. And sir, honestly, as I started learning, I realized that this is something which is, exciting me. And hence, I kept on doing it. I enrolled for a lot of courses. I enrolled for my graphic designing. I did my diploma in graphic
Mhm.
designing.
Mhm.
And obviously, for the very next year, I got into the college, but my interest still remained with technology.
Mhm.
And during my FI BCom, when I gave my FI BCom exams, I got this opportunity from a Singapore-based company to set up an institution in Pune for children where we were teaching ICT and coding skills. And I'm talking this in way back in 2001.
Mhm.
So I was very excited to look at that opportunity, and I discussed this with my parents. And obviously, coming from the manufacturing background, they were not very keen for me to get into something as a service industry. But I put my foot down, and in the month of March, I got this opportunity. In the month of July 2001, I started my own academy for children in the age of 6 to 16, where we were teaching them not just computers, but skill development through the use of computers. So we were doing vocabulary development, eye-brain coordination, mousing skills, fine motor skills, gross motor skills, creativity, logical thinking. So there were a lot of
Mhm.
softwares which are available to develop the skill sets of the child.
Amazing.
Now, this I got very excited because I also realized that that 1 year, which was a gap year, academically gap year, I realized that like me, I'm sure there's so many who are not academically driven. Can
Correct.
some sort of a thing done for them? Can
Mhm.
skills become the main focus and not just academics? And hence, I ventured into this entire domain
Oh, wonderful.
in 2001.
How wonderful. How wonderful. Thank you for sharing such an amazing journey. So, Lucky, now let's talk about ENARK education. I
Yes.
hope I have the pronunciation right.
Yes, ENARK.
Okay. So, tell me a little bit about first the name of ENARK and what problem in education are you aiming to solve, and how did you identify this need?
Okay. So, ENARK was born in 2020, and the ENARK is enabling the arc of knowledge. That's
Okay.
how ENARK, you
Hmm.
know. So ENARK is formed by three educators. We have three directors in the company,
Hmm.
and all three were doing their own individual thing for the last 20 years.
Hmm.
Uh, in COVID, uh, we realized that it's not just the children or the parents.
Hmm.
Largely, it is a teacher community which got badly hit.
Yeah.
And when we were doing a lot of online sessions, we were doing a lot of hand holding for these teachers,
Hmm.
largely the early years. We then thought that there is a massive need to train these teachers,
Hmm.
and hence all three of us, all three directors, were managing our individual businesses. Like I had this company called Mind Ventures. My other two directors had their own company, and we decided, why not address this at the global level? And
Hmm.
rather than just addressing at the local or a Pune level,
Yeah.
why don't we address this at the global level?
Hmm.
Hence, we decided to dilute our individual brands,
Hmm.
collaborated, and ENARK was born.
Wow.
And under ENARK, then we thought we will focus on training teachers, we will do childcare, preschool, and we will also focus on after school program for
Hmm.
children. So holistic, where we are addressing all the stakeholders, teachers, parents, children.
Amazing.
So that's how
Amazing.
ENARK was born.
Fascinating. Fascinating. And can you explain the concept of classroom ready teachers? And
Right.
what are some of the skills ENARC focuses on developing in the teachers?
Great. So, sir, the early years segment, that is a preschool segment in
Hmm.
India, is absolutely unorganized.
Hmm.
You don't need a license. You don't
Yeah.
need a license, or there are no government norms to
Hmm.
start a preschool. So is the case with the teachers. They don't need
Hmm.
any particular degree to get into a preschool. So you'll find a corporate burnout, a homemaker, a college
Hmm.
student, a college passed out, or a 12th passed
Hmm.
out.
Hmm.
They feel, okay, I love kids, or I have a passion for children. Hence, I have the license of teaching.
Hmm.
But that's not how things work.
Correct.
Now, there are a lot of ECC-ed institutions in India,
Hmm.
that is early childhood care and education, where a preschool teacher goes, maybe enroll for these courses,
Hmm.
and get into a preschool. But
Hmm.
there are very few who are getting into these courses, right? They feel that there is no need.
Hmm.
Now, most of these preschools are run by investors,
Hmm.
or someone like I mentioned that, okay, I'm very passionate about children,
Hmm.
hence maybe husband is supporting, family is supporting, and they start a preschool.
Correct.
Now, the challenge here is I am teaching a child
Correct.
which belongs in the age group of, say, 0 to 6 years,
Hmm.
where 85% of the child's brain is developed,
Hmm.
where I do not even have how to handle a child. Just
Hmm.
having your passion does not help,
Hmm.
right? So these teachers are actually the these are the teachers who
Hmm.
help the child grow in the grade 1, grade 2, grade 3 onwards.
Hmm. Hmm.
But the base, the foundation stage,
Hmm.
these teachers are unable to do the right teaching in the scientific way.
Right.
So, for example, I have a passion for teaching, but do I know the science of child development? Do
Right.
I understand what is cognitive development? Do I understand the left brain, right brain? Do I understand the socio-emotional skill of the child?
Hmm.
Not there. That is missing.
Hmm.
And for all these years, this has been just going on the way it is going on.
Hmm.
But obviously, after NEP 2020, the government is also focusing on the foundation stage.
Hmm.
And hence, we decided that let us teach teachers not just academic or the ECCA degree, but they should be classroom ready teachers. That means whatever I'm learning, I should be practically be able to teach in the classroom.
Hmm.
In the theoretical part, I may do a ECCA course,
Hmm.
but in the practical, when I am in the classroom, a preschool teacher can't be serious. A preschool teacher can't go with like the teacher kind of a thing. She have to be chirpy. She have to be dancing. She has to, because she's dealing with that age group.
Correct.
Hence, when we say classroom ready, whatever I am learning,
Hmm.
I should be able to implement in my classroom.
Great response. Very
So
good.
that's the whole concept.
Hmm. Hmm.
Like I said, just because someone says, okay, I have a passion of being a doctor, will we take our child and say, okay, you have a passion being a doctor, can you perform a surgery on my child?
Hmm.
We won't, right?
Absolutely.
How as parents or how
Hmm.
as preschool owners, we are giving that teacher a responsibility.
Hmm.
Okay, you are eligible to teach a 3-year-old, 4-year-old, where I don't even know that child, what background he's
Correct.
coming from,
Correct.
right? And in a classroom. So when most of these teachers say, okay, I have passion for teaching, I love kids, having uh, a child at home, or
Hmm.
understanding one child, two children in the society is one thing. There are
Hmm.
25 children in a classroom.
Correct.
You have to deal with 25 different brains.
Hmm.
Have you learned the science of it? So our thing is, you have passion for children, fantastic. You have passion for teaching, great, because without passion you cannot get into education domain.
Hmm.
Now why not have science over it? Why don't you learn the science of teaching?
Hmm.
You have art, you learn the science of the teaching, and hence we will make sure
Hmm.
that we make you classroom ready teachers. So
Well
that's
said.
how the whole concept is.
Amazing. Well said. And Lucky, how do you incorporate technology to enhance teacher training and classroom engagement?
Okay. So when ENARK was born and we decided to have a physical institute uh, to start the teacher training.
Hmm.
Now COVID hit,
Yeah.
and I've always been a technology enthusiast.
Hmm.
Okay, and I told my directors, even if COVID is hit, let us take this as an opportunity.
Hmm.
We set up a physical unit. Maybe in a year, we will be able to train 200, 300, 500 teachers.
Right.
If we back this entire project with technology,
Hmm.
then sky's the limit.
I agree.
You can sit in Pune and teach a Lucknow teacher. You sit in Pune, you teach who's in Dubai or London or maybe Sri Lanka or
Correct.
Bangladesh, anywhere across the globe.
Hmm.
Hence, what we did, sir, we got India's top 50 educators collaborate with us, who wrote content for us.
Hmm.
Entire content got digitalized in video recordings. We have a beautiful studio here in Pune. We did the video recordings. We did a lot of editing and post production work, and we launched this thing on our portal. And then we created three different levels: a entry
Hmm.
level course, the progressive, the proficient, and the advanced kind of course. So
Hmm.
teacher sitting anywhere across can access our courses.
Wow.
Another thing, sir, 80% of the teachers, the
Hmm.
preschool teachers I'm saying,
Hmm.
are teachers by fluke.
Hmm.
80% of these teachers are already in service.
Hmm.
Okay, maybe 2 years experience, 3 years experience, one
Yeah.
year experience.
Hmm.
Now, like I said, they are either homemakers or college going. So they're doing this teaching as a part time.
Hmm.
Now, when I'm already into a teaching job, it is difficult for me to manage a job and then get into a ECC-ed course, which is a
Right.
physical course, attending, going to any institution and all.
Yeah.
Hence, we thought, let's create a course which is online, and all our videos are
Hmm.
a 10, 12-minute bite-sized videos.
Hmm.
So even if a teacher is traveling in a cab, she can put her headphone, learn a lesson. She can learn at her own pace. If she is free on Saturday, she can access the course on Saturday. She's free whatever time. So the whole idea, the whole mission here is every preschool teacher should be ECC-ed certified by ENARK, at least the basic ECC
Hmm.
certification. And when they get interest, they can obviously go for the higher course and the higher level of the courses.
Absolutely. And this certification that you've just mentioned,
Yeah.
is this certification recognized by a lot of schools are in our country?
So our basic course is ENARK certified.
Hmm.
The advanced two courses we are getting very soon. We are getting two universities are accrediting our courses.
Okay.
So then,
Okay.
so again, like I said, these ECC-ed courses are not very much, most of these are managed by the private institutions.
Hmm.
But then when we approach these two universities, which are well known in India, they were very, very excited that nobody's worked on the foundation stage where a university is accrediting a course.
Hmm.
Hence, we are in that process. The advanced level courses will be university certified courses.
Amazing. Amazing.
What
Thank
happens
you.
is, for a preschool teacher also, it carries a lot of value
Yeah.
when it's a university certified courses.
Hmm. Well said. And Lucky, how do you address the whole challenge of the digital divide and ensure inclusivity for teachers in rural or underserved areas?
Fantastic, sir. So this is something which is very, very close to my heart,
Hmm.
because when I say teacher training, we should definitely not be focusing the rural side of our country, because I've personally worked with a lot of Anganwadis, Balwadis, and just recent example I would like to give
Hmm.
you. Uh, a couple of years back, we did India's first teacher tinkering fest.
Hmm.
So tinkering festivals or tinkering based learning is happening for children.
Correct.
I initiated this with one of our association, which I'm a part of, that is Early Childhood Association of India. We are
Hmm.
40,000 stakeholders on that platform.
Hmm.
And I mentioned that we should do teacher training, teacher tinkering fest.
Hmm.
Sir, what I did was my whole idea was that a Anganwadi, Balwadi, IB, IGCSC, CBSC, and ICSC teachers should be in one room
Hmm.
and them this entire training of what is teacher tinkering.
Hmm.
Okay, and it was, I mean, the article was covered pan India, the news was covered pan India because that was true inclusion according to me. Having a Balwadi teacher sitting with an IB teacher is true inclusion.
Correct.
I'm also a part of Roundtable India. So with them, what we have done is Roundtable is into building schools. So on an average, we build 1.5 classrooms per day. Now with them, I have ENARK has taken a pledge. Every school they build, ENARK will do teacher training. So these schools are generally built in the rural part of the country.
Hmm.
Another thing which we thought is since now that the internet is accessible almost everywhere, okay, what we are now doing in the rural part, maybe through Roundtable, maybe through another CSR, we install these digital screens. The plan is to install the digital screens and have these teacher modules stored for the teachers in that screen, where
Hmm.
the teacher can access these courses. While creating these courses, sir, all my content writers, I had told them use the language which even a fourth grader can understand.
Hmm.
I do not want jargon language coming with because it's teacher on the other side. She wants to relate with this learning, and we are already virtual.
Yeah.
So there is a little disconnect when we say virtual. How much ever edtech companies, including me, say there's a little disconnect to have that one-on-one.
Hmm.
So we made sure that this entire course, even if I go to a rural part or urban part of the country, a fourth grader can understand what the trainer is actually teaching.
Hmm.
So
Wow.
that's the way we are trying to reach out the rural part of the.
Very interesting. Very interesting. Can you also tell me a little bit more about your other initiatives like
Yes.
ENARK Uplift, ENARK Discover, and ENARK Cradle?
Yes. So, like I said, we were three directors in the company,
Hmm.
and we had our own verticals.
Correct.
One of my senior director was largely into teacher training.
Hmm.
I was always into after school programs for 6 to
Hmm.
16, and my another director co-founder, she was into childcare preschool.
Hmm.
Now, when we diluted our individual brands,
Hmm.
when ENARK was born,
Hmm.
obviously we wanted to continue with our verticals and the expertise.
Hmm.
Hence, teacher training is
Hmm.
ENARK Uplift, after school program is ENARK Discover, and our childcare preschool is
Wow.
ENARK Cradle.
Very interesting. I love the way all three of the co-founders have kept their verticals and rebranded it as a part of ENARK.
Yes,
I'm sure that itself could be an interesting case study for marketing
and
people.
and sir, one more thing which I would like, since you are more experienced into this, the reason why I initiated this dilution of brand, a lot of people
Hmm.
asked me that you already had a brand called Mind Ventures. The
Hmm.
other director had a brand called Apple Blossom. Why did you guys dilute the brand?
Hmm.
It had a legacy of 20 years, 22
Yeah.
years. Now, according to me, I felt that let's say we are humans, we are emotionally driven. I said even if I collaborate in ARC and keep my
Hmm.
ventures, I will be somewhere biased towards what I have given birth to.
Hmm.
It's natural, you know.
Correct.
My other co-founder will always feel that Apple Blossom was mine.
Hmm.
Hence, we decided we should all three, when we are collaborating, there should be one common name where we say
Hmm.
it's ours. Ye hamara hai.
Hmm.
It does not belong to any individual.
Correct. Correct.
Hence, ENARK was the main brand, and then
Hmm.
ENARK Discover, ENARK Cradle, and ENARK Uplift. So
Amazing.
activities remains the same, just a
Correct.
little bit of tweaking in the brand, playing with the brand.
Absolutely. Wonderful. I have time for two or three more questions.
Yes, sir.
How important is personalization in your teacher training and how do you achieve it?
Great. So this is something which I do get questions with a lot of educators that okay,
Hmm.
people are doing online, but how about personalization? So when I say personalization, sir, what we do is with along with our online courses, we do have at least one major physical workshop happening, having different parts of the country. So there's one event called EduFest, where we go to different parts of different cities. We have 200 250 teachers coming in, and it's an entire 1 day festival where different breakout rooms are there, and these teachers are given physical training. Two, when we do tie up with schools, we tell the schools that you subscribe for our program. The teachers will learn on it on their own pace, but along with this, we will also give you 6 to 8 physical sessions. We will have assessments. We will have one-on-one interaction. We will have one-on-one mentorship. Because in teacher training, it is extremely important that that personal touch be there. So we try to balance both the things. So you learn the course on your own pace, but then we have these edufest kind of an events, conference kind of events, workshops where we come to you and we have that one-on-one interaction with the teachers.
Amazing. My next question is for you personally. You have been recognized as one of the top 10 most influential edupreneurs in the world, or in the of the year.
Of the year,
How
yeah.
does this mean to you personally and professionally?
So, sir, all these awards and recognitions which you've seen,
Hmm.
I will talk a little off
Yeah,
about awards. I have never believed in accepting awards which are paid awards.
right.
Okay.
Yeah,
I've always believed if my work is good,
correct.
uh, people will recognize me today or tomorrow.
Absolutely.
If my work is, if I'm not worth receiving that award, it will delayed come what may, you know.
Correct.
So the reason I am clarifying this on a live medium is because uh, as educationist, you know, I may
Hmm.
have hundreds of trophies around me,
Yeah,
but every time when I look at it, I have to be answerable to myself.
correct.
Yeah, is this what I have achieved or is this what I have bought?
Hmm.
And it's something which is very personal, but I would definitely like to say. So when it's something where you're getting recognized, a it is a definitely motivating factor,
Hmm.
very motivating factor. But along with that motivating factor, sir, it is a big responsibility.
Correct.
Go on the dais and say, okay, you are one of the 10 most influential edupreneurs of the year. It is also a responsibility that now people are looking up to me. I
Hmm.
can't be going wrong. I have to be trying to be perfect each day.
Yeah.
Humans we are, and we can't say that, okay, I am the perfect. We make a
Hmm.
mistake. But the biggest thing is, sir, we become, at least in my case, I have become very conscious about my own mistakes.
Hmm.
I ask myself at the end of the day, what is it that I achieved today, and what is it that I did not, and what is it that I need to do, which will take me to closer to the goals. So
Oh,
these
amazing.
awards are definitely motivating, no doubts about it. But I think it gives you a lot of responsibility for the generations to come, or for the upcoming generation who getting into the education domain. Because like I said, education is something, if it's not here, it is difficult for anybody to be in this domain for long.
Correct.
So
Correct.
awards, recognitions, motivation, and responsibility both.
Very interesting. And on that note, Lucky, I just want to say thank you so much for speaking to me about your own incredible journey. What a journey you've had from the time you suddenly realized after class 10 that you had to explore and learn more about education. And that's a very powerful lesson you have given to many, many young viewers and listeners of the brand called you, to telling me about enabling the arc of knowledge,
Yes.
and how you use this phrase to evolve in ENARK education. Thank you for talking to me about classroom ready teachers. Thank you for talking to me about how you're using technology, how you are, working on personalization of teacher training, and we covered so many other different aspects of education that you have so nicely built together as three co-founders. Thank you for speaking to me. And one other question, comment I do want to make is your amazing lesson on the awards, where you say that every night you ask yourself, have you been able to deliver uh,
Yes.
what the burden that you have on your shoulders because of
Yes.
all these awards? And I completely endorse what you've said, which is don't buy awards.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, inside you, you know the truth when you look at your trophy wall.
Absolutely, sir.
So
Absolutely.
thank you again for speaking to me and all the very best to you.
Thank you so much for having me here, sir. Thank you. And I wish you all the best. And I wish all the best to the brand called You for, inspiring millions of lives.
Thank you. Thank you for listening to the Brand Called You videocast and podcast, a platform that brings you knowledge, experience, and wisdom of hundreds of successful individuals from around the world. Do visit our website www.tbcy.in to watch and listen to the stories of many more individuals. You can also follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Just search for the brand called You.